So Santi Zap did this video, and I've been trying to do this video for a very long time, and I actually really have not had the time to do it. And there's just times where things was kind of messing up with my computer, and the video is too long. I just want like a half short video because the videos take up so much memory of my phone because I need a camera later. And yeah, but I want to do who should have won this year's Money in the Bank, and this is also Santi Zap versus Main Event Will. And yeah, and right now I'm just chilling at night. It is like 10:50. Oh, it's 11 right now. Yeah, I'm just watching Minions, and watching Minions, and right now I'm just gonna do this. And also I would also do this on the TV, but there's a lot of stuff that was not working. I had to screencast my computer to the TV, but I've been trying and it was not working. So I'm just gonna do the old school. I'm just gonna do it old school, like just show the pictures right there. And yeah, so without further ado, let's just get started. Okay, let's start off with the rated R superstar Edge. He was the first ever Money in the Bank winner in 2005. That's when they started doing it, and that's when they started doing it at WrestleMania. So guess what? I'm being like Santi Zap. I'm not going to change this because this is legendary. This was a good moment for Edge. He was getting out of being the tag team guy for out of Christian, but yet it's fine. So that's why I'm not going to change this. Save for 2006 because it was RVD winning that one. Because like RVD was the babyface of 2006. He was the face of ECW, and he's like one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And yeah, but also like RVD is so athletic. And guess what? He cashed on John Cena. Same for Edge. So nothing I would change about this one. Now here's the change who I would do. It's Mr. Kennedy in 2007. And then yes, there was a change because he got defeated by a two-time Mr. Money in the Bank. Now it is Edge, the first ever two-time Money in the Bank winner and first ever Money in the Bank winner, right? That's an accolade, right? Now, guess what? I would not change this to Edge. I'm like Santi Zap, but here's the thing. I am not gonna go with Santi Zap's answer because he went with Jeff Hardy. Now, I really appreciate Jeff Hardy, and we're gonna talk about Jeff Hardy in a minute. Well, later in this video. But to me, I would have to think about, since Edge cashed in on John Cena and what's his name? RVD cashed in on John Cena, and those started rivalries with big rivalries with John Cena. Now I remember. Now we all have to recognize what is the best rivalry of John Cena, which was Randy Orton. And yes, I would put the Money in the Bank briefcase on Randy Orton because he was already going to win gold. He was in this feud with John Cena, and he was having this awesome gimmick with the Legend Killer. And John Cena was becoming a legend, and yet also in his prime in 2006, 7, and 8, or 2005, 6, 7, and then 8, and then that was it. And let's talk about 2009. Now, 2009, Santi Zap did change this to someone else. And at first, I was gonna say I wouldn't keep this one because CM Punk was kind of is controversial, and yet also, controversial, and yet also a low point was low. So I would change this. I wouldn't really change this, but I would change it to Santi Zap's answer, Shelton Benjamin. And this is a good answer for Santi Zap because for Santi Zap, and then for Shelton Benjamin, he's like the only person he was like the only person to never win the world title out of the OVW 2002, the class of 2002. John Cena won the world title, Batista did, Randy Orton, and Brock Lesnar, but it was never Shelton Benjamin. So he would have had his moment right away. Now, since he went back-to-back Money in the Banks, this one I'm fine with because, this was CM Punk, and I think I would have been okay with CM Punk winning. And I actually watched this match too. Okay, so we got Jack Swagger, and Santi Zap declared this was like the worst Money in the Bank holder of all time. And guess what? I have to agree. Aside from Mr. Kennedy, he's one of them. Now, who would I change this to? Now, I get why Santi Zap put Christian on his list because he was in TNA, and then he would come back to WWE. He would be in this match, and he never had the chance to become Mr. Money in the Bank. And guess what? I really understand that. But instead, I was thinking of someone who was in TNA before, and yet also had his brother, I'm talking about, Matt Hardy, to do his own thing. So I would say Matt Hardy should have won this year's Money in the Bank, and he was in this too, right? Yeah, he was in this match. So I would really say Matt Hardy over Christian. And guess what? We're going to talk about Christian later in this video. And guess what? We had 3 Money in the Bank holders, and this was the last time they ever did it at WrestleMania. That's when they started doing it at the pay-per-view Money in the Bank. And guess what? Kane was the winner of that one, and I would be okay with this. I know Kane was at a point where when Kane was kind of wasn't really doing good in 2011. And yet the whole Rey Mysterio thing and Kane, the rivalry they had, I think it was in 2011, or I think they had it back in the day. And guess what? I really wouldn't change this one. And guess what? I wouldn't change this one for the Raw side. And that's when they did the brand split. That's why you can see it that it was blue. The Miz, perfect option. So he was the Rat in 2011 and 2010. He would cash in on Randy Orton. So yeah, I would not change anything about that one. All right, so we are in 2011, right? Yeah, that was 2011. So Daniel Bryan, I would not change this one because Daniel Bryan was a mid-card wrestler, and I wouldn't really change it. And I wouldn't change about this one. And same for Alberto Del Rio. As much it was kind of weird that he won the Royal Rumble that year and he won the Money in the Bank briefcase, I would change it, but I had no choice because Alberto Del Rio was this was Alberto Del Rio's year in 2011. And also I know he didn't he's not really a memorable Royal Rumble winner, but I would have to agree he would have to be like more memorable as Mr. Money in the Bank. Yeah, I would not change this one. And then we have Dolph Ziggler, probably becoming one of the best Money in the Bank holders of all time, and had the best cash-ins of all time. And yeah, it's his contract was not his contract. His championship reign was short, and he does deserve to be world champion later if he had came back into WWE. And yeah, I would have gave him another long reign. But also I would not change this. But I would change John Cena. I love John Cena. He did not need to win this. You guys know he's my favorite wrestler of all time, but he did not really need to win this. Instead, I would change this to somebody who Santi Zap said, and yet also had the picture and I was kind of picturing it that since Edge left, we would have had Christian as Mr. Money of the Bank. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Christian should have been this should have been 2012 Mr. Money in the Bank on Raw, and yeah, I feel like Edge left. He was out of Edge's shadow, and then he was becoming a star. He needs like a longer title reign to be exact, and yeah, that's it. So yeah, I would change John Cena over Christian. Or I'll change Christian over John Cena. And then 2013, Damien Sandow, and that's how I just learned his name, won this year's Money in the Bank. And most definitely, I would change this one because it's not going to be memorable. I did not know he won it. So the only thing that I have close on, let me see. Okay, the only thing that is close from 2013 was actually Santi Zap's prediction, and I've been predicting this too, and I would agree with each other. If we talk, we would agree on this. Cody Rhodes. This will foreshadow the future of WWE, and a lot of people will be making shorts about this, that Cody Rhodes will be the future of WWE, and yet also become Mr. Money in the Bank and cash in on the WWE Championship. That would have been perfect for Cody Rhodes. And guess what? Let's say, what if Cody Rhodes won? We would have had Legacy carrying because Randy Orton won this one. And guess what? I'm not changing this one because he won a lot, and yet also he was at a point where he's not really popular at that time. Like John Cena was on top. I think Daniel Bryan was on top. The Rock, Big Show, I think. But I think Randy Orton was like top 5 and best in 2013. There's a lot of people that was in 2013. And let's see, who was it? This year is 2014, and Seth Rollins. If you guys change this one, y'all gotta. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about y'all. But Seth Rollins did the highest of the century at WrestleMania. I would not change this one. Sheamus, and like Santi Zap said, this is like I don't know. He won the Royal Rumble. I don't know. This is like kind of but yet I would just keep this one just because he wasn't really at a good point in 2015. Now Dean Ambrose, she was carrying the Money in the Bank briefcase all over, and I wouldn't change this one because he cashed in on the same night when Roman Reigns walked out as WWE champion. Seth Rollins become champion, pinning Roman Reigns, and then guess what? Dean Ambrose cashed in on Seth Rollins, and the Shield did their thing in the main event. So nothing I would change about that one. So there was a lot of people that could have won in the Money in the Bank briefcase that could have won this year's Money in the Bank. And it was in the match card. There's like AJ Styles, there was Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, just a lot of people. And Jinder Mahal was champion. And guess who won? Y'all are looking at him right now, Baron Corbin. This was 2016, right? Yeah, 2006. No, this was 2017. And guess what? I have to agree with Santi Zap, and I would have went with Kevin Owens. Yes, Kevin Owens needed this because after going against what's his name? Yeah, after going against Chris Jericho, excuse me, this will be like an accomplishment to Kevin Owens because he was pushed right away with the World Championship the Universal Championship to be exact, and he would have successfully cashed in on Jinder Mahal. But Baron Corbin could have won, hit him with the end of days. I don't know how he lost. but still, I would have said Kevin Owens. And oh yeah, and this was the first time they ever did this for the women's. In 2007, they had the first ever Money in the Bank holder, um, which was what's her name, Carmella. I'm, I have writer's block or something. But yeah, I would really change this one. Now we have Braun Strowman. This one you could change, but yet also you could keep. So I would keep him, but who would I change him? Who would I change to? Okay, so I was thinking about like the whole Shield thing with Seth Rollins winning it first, Dean Ambrose winning it second, and then we would have Roman Reigns cashing in on like Brock Lesnar, or who else? Yeah, who else was WWE champion? Oh yeah, and AJ Styles. These two champions were like most likely, well, really Roman Reigns could pin anyone, and these two champions, AJ Styles and Brock Lesnar, would have been good for anybody. It would have been like back and forth with Roman Reigns. And let's talk about 2019. Oh wait, I forgot. Okay, I didn't even remember the women's. Nothing I would have really changed about this one, because this was Alexa Bliss, and she was a rising star in 2018. Yeah, she's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, probably. Now, 2019, there was Brock Lesnar. Now and once again, Science said the whole boombox Money in the Bank thing was funny, but yeah, I would change this one to someone else. And I was thinking who was champion at that time. He would have got his revenge on Seth Rollins, and which would have been Finn Balor. And yeah, and then also, Saucy Zap did say he would do 2018 with Finn Balor, but I'm only doing 2019 with Finn Balor, because if you really think about it, that we would have had multiple matches. Like we would have had Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. We would also have the Fiend, who would have won in 2019, I think, and then Finn Balor, and then also we would also have like Brock Lesnar versus Finn Balor, and Finn Balor will have a banger with Brock Lesnar. He has good matches with anybody, so I would say Finn Balor for 2019. And then we'd also have Miss Money in the Bank Bailey. Nothing I would change this one, because she's underrated. She cashed in. I think she cashed in on the same night, right? And then we got Otis. Otis didn't really win this year's. Otis won this year's Money in the Bank, but later it would have been The Miz. But there's something else. I'm happy that it changed to Otis, but it really need to be The Miz. But then I was thinking about who came back, who was so good in 2020, because this was 2020. This is 2020, and I was thinking of like guys like Cesaro, because Cesaro was getting pushed, and yet also would have been like world champion, but they never did that with him. But another person who I would have had was Jeff Hardy, and Jeff Hardy's like, this is Jeff Hardy's thing, ladder matches, and he would have been it, because he came back in 2019. Wait, no, he wouldn't come back. He would still be there, right? I don't know, but Jeff Hardy or Cesaro would have been. These two would have been perfect as Mr. Money in the Bank. And then we had Asuka winning Money in the Bank. I'm happy that she won that year, but I don't feel like she really needs to win it. And I get the whole thing that Becky Lynch was pregnant and she had to cash in on Asuka, but I would have chose Rhea Ripley. Wait. I think I would have chose Rhea Ripley, but yeah, it would have been fine with Asuka. Now, once again, we have Big E. Now, Big E was the perfect option. He was the first ever black Money in the Bank holder in WWE history. Nothing I would change about this one. And then Nikki Cross, this is like the second time I would actually change this one. Because like Nikki winning is cool. But yeah, I think I would change this one because in 2021 the bloodline was carrying, and you guys know, if you guys can guess who I was gonna pick, you already know. I would have picked Naomi because Naomi was doing Naomi joining the bloodline would have been perfect, and then her winning Money in the Bank would have matched up with Jimmy's accolade with winning the tag titles at Money in the Bank, and then also for Naomi, it would have been perfect for both. It would have been perfect for her. And then the first time I ever watched this is the first ever time I ever watched Money in the Bank. And guess what? The winner was Austin Theory, the person that I never wanted to win this year's Money in the Bank. I have multiple people to win this one, to win this year's. I would have picked. Well, this is Santi's app's answer, and this is also mine. I thought this would have matched perfectly with the whole bloodline situation, like last year with Naomi, but it would have been different with Sami Zayn winning it. And we would kind of think that he would have dethroned Roman Reigns. And then later, not later, but another person who I actually wanted to win was Riddle, because since Randy Orton was not here, he did fantastic as Mr. Money in the Bank, and it was in his hometown. So I would want him to win. And then another person that was trying to improve his singles run, which was Madcap Moss. I would have been okay with Madcap Moss winning because like he's strong, he's big, and I don't think he would cash in correctly, but it would make sense. But Riddle, another thing about Riddle, he was on the field with the Bloodline, and he would have cashed in on Roman Reigns like right away, like probably at SummerSlam. And then nothing I would change this one because this was the first time I ever watched this. I actually wanted her to win, and then she cashed in on the same night on Ronda Rousey, and guess what? Nothing I would change this one. And then we're on last year's Money in the Bank. Damian Priest got on my nerves. He was, and once again, he was acting like a buffoon cashing in. I never liked it, but it was successfully cashed in. But I would change this anyway. Who would I change it to? I would agree with Santi's app. I would have went with LA Knight, or LA Knight, because everybody wanted that. And then another person who I really wanted to win. And then when I was watching Brandon's Reddit video, they were talking about Logan Paul winning Money in the Bank. So I would have been okay with that one. He would have cashed in on, who was it? Seth Rollins, and trying to get his revenge, continue the rivalry, or he would have cashed in on Roman Reigns, because these two had a small rivalry. So he would have got another crack at it. And then we had Miss Money in the Bank, Io Sky. Nothing I would change about this one, because that was like the first time I ever became. This is like the first time I ever became an Io fan. I'm still watching Minions. All right, now we got 2024 Money in the Bank coming up, and there's a lot of people who I actually want to win, but I feel like the people who I want to win will be Jey Uso. And I've been trying to tell y'all all the time that Jey Uso should win this year's Money in the Bank. And then we also have someone else that is kind of predictable, Chad Gable. There's another one, Andrade. There's also the person. I want Andrade to win, but there's also another person who I want to win, Carmelo Hayes. And there's a lot of people. And then there's also the women's side. I want Lila Valkyria to win. There's also, it could be like a little return for Rhea Ripley. Then probably if she actually win this and comes back at Money in the Bank, we would have had Charlotte Flair, as Mr. Money in the Bank. Alright, y'all, I am done for today. I'm going to go to bed. and just relax. But make sure you guys leave a comment down below. Comment down below and tell me y'all opinions on who should have won this year's Money in the Bank. Give this video a like and subscribe to Multiverse Lovers. And I'll see you guys next time with another video. Bye.